Hi everyone, my name is Keely and I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for another soap making video. Today I am using another one of the fragrance oils that Aussie Soap Supplies sent to me after having all the issues I did have with the fragrance oils. Today I am using Island Escape, and it's a beautiful fruity sort of concoction and it has played so well in the soap. I was probably a little bit cruel on this one. I really tested it to the limits, and I also tried something new myself. I'm not the best person for watching how to do landscape style soaps, but I do want to have a bit of a practice at it, and I thought I would try doing that with this particular fragrance oil, and I'm quite pleased with the results. Now, as a little bit of an update, I have mentioned it in a previous video that Aussie Soap Supplies did a few months ago experience a fire in their factory and their offices where they have lost their entire business, but they have updated everyone now to say that they are coming back, and they've got some temporary premises, and that they are working out what they have got, getting in some extra stock so they can start selling again. So when these guys do come back up online, please go and support them, and definitely go and check out these new fragrances as well, because they are behaving so well and it smells absolutely amazing in the soap as well. But for now, let's go and see how I make Tropical Island Escape soap. Let's go. I think I am fully prepared for this soap. Now, I don't know if I'm just being really cruel here, but I am really going to give this fragrance oil a really good test, because I have got a pattern or a design in mind that does require some layers, some swirls and other bits and pieces. Now, the fragrance oil that I've got today is called Island Escape, and it's a very tropical fruity fragrance. It's got notes of coconut, pineapple, mango, cocoa butter, ripe lychee, mandarin, banana leaf, gardenia, acacia, rose, and some vanilla. So there's a lot of notes in there, and it does smell pretty good. So what I've just done there is I've poured my distilled water sodium hydroxide solution into my oils here. I am going to go with whisking, because all the fragrance oils that I've been sent, they've actually sent me 4 of them to try, and 3 out of the 4, when I look them up online, do list minor accelerations. So I am prepared for that, and as I said, I don't know if I'm just being completely cruel with this by doing the design I want to do, but it's been a while since I've done an ocean themed soap, and I decided that's what I wanted to do with this particular fragrance. So I thought, to give it some sort of chance, we will start off with whisking, and that should really help with that acceleration. It does smell really good from out of the bottle, so hopefully this one will also hold through the soap. I'm going to start with my first few colours here. I've got a bit of a concoction of colours in there. I've got a bit of resplendent mica, I've got some wild orchid, and a little bit of titanium dioxide, hoping to get the colour I am after here. I'm going to pour off a fair amount in there. The other thing I'm also going to pour off at this stage is some titanium dioxide. And again, I've poured off a fair amount of the titanium dioxide. Now, I probably won't be adding any fragrance into my titanium dioxide here, because it has got 0.5% vanillin, and I actually do want this white to stay white in the soap. So I'm going to give this bit a mix with the stick blender, because you have to mix titanium dioxide with a stick blender to get it to disperse well. Alright, so that has had a good little mix there. Alright, let's see if we've got the right colour here. I'm after a bit of a sandy colour, but I think this is going to be a little bit too dark. Oh no, it looks like it's coming good. I have got a little bit of titanium dioxide in there just to try and help with that sort of sand colouring. It's usually a lot paler than this, so I might just need a little bit more. But what I will do is, if I can find myself an empty jug, I've got lots of colours going on, so I don't really have much in the way of empties. I'm going to pour myself off about that much. Going to add a bit more titanium dioxide into that one. Going to give it a quick mix, and then we will stir in the fragrance before we start pouring into the mould. Alright, so we've got that done. I'm fairly happy with that sort of sand colour. Let's start by putting a little bit in there and a little bit more in there. As I said, I'm not adding it into the white. Hopefully this is going to behave because I do want this design to work, and I do want these fragrance oils to work as well. Alright, so that is actually looking quite good there so far. I really don't want to jinx myself. Alright, get that mixed in. It's a bit harder in that little pot, but it was the only one I've got sitting there on the side that was easy to reach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my mould. I can see already I've got a ton of mess that we're going to be cleaning up after this soap. Got myself a little cloth here, and I'm just going to tip my mould up onto its side here, and I'm going to start by pouring my lighter colour in like so. As I said, this is meant to represent sand. I'm now going to pour in this slightly darker colour, and the idea is I want it to look like there is bits of wet sand sitting there. So, you know, as the water comes up and it laps over and then it goes back out, and that water or that sand becomes a lot darker in colour. So we've got that scraped out. This is actually behaving really well so far. I just really don't want to jinx myself here. Right, so I'm going to do that. What I am going to add now into the rest of there is, as I said, this is going to be a rather complicated design. Hopefully I'll get it pulled off. I am just going to drizzle in a little bit of that white and finish pouring that into my sand. I'm not sure I really got quite enough white through there. I just want it to look like there's little bits of foam. So I'm just going to drizzle a bit more of that white in there. Like so. Then I have my little chopstick. I'm just going to whoosh that round. Hopefully then, as that water kind of recedes back off, leaving the darker sand and little bits of foam in there too. So happy with how that's looking. Oh, my mould's coming apart. Let's stick it back up on the side. So hopefully that looks like a beach with some white waves crashing on the top. Let's move on to doing the actual water side of this. I'm going to, oh, I'm making such a mess. If only you could see off my camera what I've got. I have got containers of soap everywhere. We've had a bit of a soaping marathon. I've got 4 soaps sitting on my side. So this is the 5th one I'm making today. But that is all good. I have got my next sort of series of colours here. Just need to get it blended up with that oil. I have got, this is one of 2 names. If you get it from My Mica Obsession, it is called Sea Mist. The other company I've had from, which I won't name because I actually don't like buying from them, but you'll recognise the name of the mica if you do. It is called Maldives. In this one here, I have, what did we do? I think we went for some aquamarine. Yes, this one's aquamarine in here from My Mica Obsession. This one is some Tutti Frutti, which is a bit of a darker shade. Not much darker, just enough. And then in this one here, I am trying some of the navy from the Magic Mica. So I have got all of that in there. I'm going to now pour off some of this. Let's give it a bit more of a mix. Sorry, I know I'm off camera here. And I'm going to pour out about the same in each of these jugs here. You know what, because that fragrance oil actually did behave very well, I didn't really get any of that sort of minor acceleration until I was actually ready for it. I am going to give all my colours just a quick mix with the stick blender because I just find it mixes them in so much better. While I'm finishing mixing those colours in, I may as well mix in my bit of fragrance as well. So we'll pour a bit into each of them. Start back at the beginning. Look, I made a really good mess here. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to grab this next big pot here. I'm going to start by pouring all of that dark blue in here, completely scraping out my jugs as I go. I have just noticed that the pineapple in this, it really does shine through in this fragrance, so hopefully it keeps those sort of notes in this as it goes through the cure. It smells really nice. I am actually noticing a real difference in the smell of the fragrances compared to the initial ones I got while I'm actually soaping with them as well. So hopefully, oh, fingers crossed, this does all behave really, really well. What I'm now going to do is pour each of these colours on the top. Get that completely scraped out. I'm going to do the same with all of them. In the next two colours, I am just going to put a little bit of white in there as well. So you can kind of see where I'm heading with these colours. Probably poured that one in there a little bit too hard and made a bit more of a drop, which is not what I intended to do, but it will certainly add to the effect of this soap. Looks like I've only just got a jug big enough for this. Let's get this scraped out. I'm actually going to start from this side, so a majority of that lighter colour goes towards the bottom of our mould here, and again I'm just going to prop this up on its side just to give me that extra little bit of hand here, and I'm going to start pouring down the side. Now you may recognize this is that One Pot Wonder swirl from out of the Soap Challenge Club. I was going to enter some more of the Soap Challenge Club, and I've just figured with the way things are going at the moment, I'm just so super busy, and I can't put the time that I really want to into the actual Soap Challenge Club. So I decided not to enter the 4 for the rest of this year, but maybe that will be a goal of mine in 2021 to enter some more of the Soap Challenge competition, because I really did enjoy doing it. But I did find a couple of them. I was just under a lot of pressure to get, not pressure, that's probably the wrong way of saying it, because they don't put pressure on you. I just felt my own personal pressure to get a design that really I couldn't do. I mean, apart from the fact I had some rather naughty fragrances that were not behaving well for the challenge. And you know what, I chose to actually use some of those fragrances for the challenge because they are an international sort of challenge and people were going to be watching. I figured that would actually be a really good way of getting that company's name out there, but it just wasn't to be. But anyhow, that is something completely different. We won't go into that anymore. Sorry guys. But I do hope to be able to do some more of the challenges next time. This is the first time I've been able to do this One Pot Wonder swirl since I did it for that, and I did 3 soaps in total using that swirl technique, so I'm really pleased I can finally do that again. This liner is driving me nutty. Alright, so we've got what will be our ocean in there. What I'm now going to do is going to grab my white, and first thing I'm actually going to do, because we've got some colour left here, haven't we? We've got some soap left. I'm going to pour off just a little bit for the grey. That should be more than enough. And then I have this blue, which I'm not going to get all that in that container, so let's get the blue out of there. Just dirty a jug just because I can. Let's get it all scraped out. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take some of that white, about that much. I'm going to stir my silver together. I'm going to add some of the fragrance oil in here. And this time I am also going to add just a little bit of fragrance into that white, because I don't mind if this colours it, and I've just poured the rest in there. So let's get that mixed in. It will also loosen this up a little bit, because that has been what the fragrance has done. So I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I will mention it again just in case. Because I said that I was going to test these, I am testing them as I would normally soap as well. So I have got my recipe, which is down in the description box below. And I typically soap at 32% water. So that means I soap at 32% of my oil weight is what my water actually equates to. What I'm going to do first of all is just pour a little bit of that grey over the top like so. Pour that in there like that. So, because one of the things that actually came out about the fragrances was that they were not designed to be used with a water discount, which I understand why. Discounting your water, it's not that it's dangerous, but using a water discount is a more advanced technique. But I would say that you would develop your fragrance oils. I mean, this is why I soap and don't make fragrance oils. I would have thought you would have developed your fragrance oils to be used at a water discount, so that if beginners were working at full water, the fragrance would then work as well. But that's, I don't know, maybe that just doesn't work that way. It is also a very old way of soaping. Water discounting is something that is relatively new in sort of concept. Back in the 90s, a lot more people that were soaping. There would have been some that discounted water, but a majority of people would have actually soaped at full water, because that is just that was the way it was done. And as we've got better with our soaping techniques and sort of things like that, people have experimented with discounting water, and that is now the sort of new norm, is to soap with the water discounts. And by soaping with discounted water, you can dry your soaps a lot quicker. So when they weren't discounting the water, it was generally taking them 2, maybe 3, up to 4 months to cure soaps. So now that we actually do that water discount, we can generally get them cured. On average, it's 4 to 6 weeks, and some people, depending upon how heavily they discount, they can get their soaps out in 3 weeks. So, you know, there are some advantages to doing that whole water discount as you actually become better. Well, not better, but as you become more experienced at soap making, your water discounting is something that most people do. I don't know that many soapers who make lots and lots of soaps who are very experienced. I don't know many of them who actually do soap at a water discount. So it is something I was talking to them about as well, that most people are discounting, but it is the modern way of soaping. So we need to make sure that these sort of fragrance oils are ideal to modern ways of soap making. And also, you know, we've come a long way with our oils. There used to be a time that to get your palm oil, you used to have to melt the whole lot to make sure that it was all fully combined. Whereas these days we just have those no stir palm oils, and there is a major difference between that. I remember when I first started soap making a few years ago and watching Soap Queen, and she was always melting all of the palm oil to make sure it was incorporated. And we were quite lucky here in Australia, because we've always only have ever had the no stir palm oil from when I started soaping. So it's just one of those things that we just need to make sure that these work with modern techniques. What I'm doing here, I am going to be doing the sky now. So I'm just putting some of that white and grey here just to make it look like some little wisps of clouds, and then we're almost done. I am really, really happy with this, guys. I am absolutely stoked with this fragrance oil so far. It does say minor acceleration. I really haven't experienced that. I have experienced that it has loosened my particular soap up using that 32% water. So I'm really, really impressed with this. Definitely would buy this one again. Also gives me a lot more confidence now because the two of the others also said mild acceleration. So if this is mild, I'm pretty happy with that. So gives me confidence to use the others as well. Let me get my bucket all scraped out, and then I will, well, we won't even bring you down for a closer look because there's not much to really look at there, is there? What I am going to do is just give this a bit of a sprinkle on across the top with some Blizzard mica. Reason being is because this soap is actually quite fluid now that I've poured it in here, and who knows the real reason behind soda ash? I don't. I've tried all this sort of techniques that they say to get rid of it and all the rest of it. I still get soda ash. I do, however, find that if my soap batter is really quite fluid, like this one was when I pour it, that I'm more likely to get that soda ash on the top. And one of the ways I have found to actually combat that is to sprinkle mica on the top of it. So that's just going to give that a really nice sheen, hopefully protect it from some of the soda ash that may build up. But for now, that is my island escape. You can see it's still really fluid there. I am going to leave this one sit overnight, and we'll be back in just a moment, and we'll cut it open and see what sort of landscape design I've got on the inside. Alright, we are ready to cut into our island escape. It's looking very, very interesting on all the sides. So I've got really, really high hopes for this one. It is smelling amazing. This fragrance has really stuck in there. The pineapple is still pretty strong in there, but I'm also getting a lot more of those sort of berry smells come through as well. So I am actually very impressed with this Island Escape fragrance, and hopefully anyone else that does want to give it a go, it behaves just as well in your recipe as it has in mine, even with discounting that water. But what we're going to do is get cut all the way through this one, and we're going to take a look and see if I manage to get my little seascape. Alright, so let's take a look, and that is the inside of our Island Escape. I am pretty happy with this one. I wish my white had swirled in a little bit more. Maybe I needed to get more of a chopstick in there, but I have got some little bits of wisps in there. I am stoked with the actual pattern on here as well. When I did the One Pot Wonder challenge with the soap club, I did a number of soaps, and I still never really got that sort of graduated color coming up and lots of swirls passing on through. But this time I've managed to do it because I don't need it for the challenge. But I am absolutely loving it. I really like that technique as well, because you do get some very different effects through it. Really, really happy with how that's come together, and the smell is absolutely amazing as well. So I have kind of got that sort of look that I was going for. So we've got that nice little beach across the front there, a few waves trying to roll on over the sand, and then the water going from that nice shallow into the nice deep dark color, then some storm clouds coming in over the horizon, because you always get those gorgeous afternoon storms when you are staying on little islands there. Really, really happy. Love how the sand has actually come up as I was intending. So it looks like we've got the wet sand sort of in with the dry sand as the waves crash up. That piece has actually come up really quite good there. Very, very happy. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made my island escape. If you are here in Australia, you know that fragrance oil is one of their new batches, which should hopefully actually be working really well for everybody. Just remember, all our recipes are different, but this has worked in my recipe, and as you have probably seen from the previous ones, I have had a lot of grief with them. So if it's going to work in my recipe, I'm definitely going to buy some more of this one. So I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye.